When we return to Zoom, we can be patient with technology as we try to get back in the groove with this.
We're good.
We're good?
You're good.
So we are ready to roll. Let's call this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. We are assembled here for the City of Oxford Board of Commissioners agenda meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, and it is 5:32 p.m. and we are assembled in the Commissioners Boardroom at City Hall. If you do have electronic devices or cell phones with you, please mute them now. And the business of the evening is to set the agenda for the Tuesday, June 8th, 2021 regular session. We will have prayer by Reverend Bruce Beck of West Oxford Baptist Church, pledge led by Commissioner John Tovey, and the rest as usual. We move forward to delegations. We have a presentation for the June Yard of the Month, which will be announced on Tuesday. We have, and what I would like to ask is to consider, if I'm able to pull this together, many of you may know that Coble Printing closed business on last Friday. And I would like to, if I can manage to pull together a proclamation, I would like to recognize them. Coble Printing as a business has been in operation in downtown Oxford for nearly a century. And also, everybody knows that Lee Height also closed Sunrise Biscuits, and it's no fun to do a proclamation for somebody remotely. And if I can do one, and Coble and Lee Height are, and everybody misses Sunrise. If everybody's in agreement, I would like to insert those after the Yard of the Month. There, again, at least put a placeholder if I'm able to get the proclamations written. Does anybody have an issue with that? Okay. Then we would move, thank you. We would move on to the introduction of Charissa Puryear with Granville County Cooperative Extension. She's their new executive director. And the new programming schedule for the Granville Street Center. So Tina, is that something that's in conjunction with you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You want to tell us anything about that now, or we'll just wait for Tuesday?
Either way, but I know most of you know her, but we just want to reintroduce her, one as the new director there, but we're going to work on a partnership. We've actually been trying to get it together for about a little over 2 years to offer some programming out of that building there at Granville Street. So it's some programs that will be, that Cooperative Extension is offering, and they'll be able to offer some additional programs like some summer programming, some workforce development for that like 15, 18-year-old age group. So it's a gives us the capacity to do that and not have to, we don't have enough staff to offer programming all over, and so that's just worked out as a good partnership with them. And
awesome.
So, yeah, so we'll just give you a little bit more information about what programs are going to be offered there.
Great.
So, yeah, we're excited about it.
Thank you very much. And a recognition of the Oxford Police Department will also happen. I'm sure I'll get a little bit more information about whatever we need to do then. Okay? Any questions on any of that? Okay. I'm moving forward public hearing to get citizen input regarding the fiscal year 2021-22 budget. And we have made that budget available in the library, and
Yes.
great. And people know, is there any kind of sign up downstairs where people pay their water bill if they?
There's a copy in the kiosk, there's a copy in the library, and of course there's a copy in my office.
Right. Is there a sign at the kiosk that lets people know that there's a copy that they can look at if they're interested?
I don't think so.
No, but we're back open today, so if they want to look at it, they can come in the building. If they sign in at the kiosk that they want to look at a budget, they can be directed right to our office where there's one waiting on them.
Great. Okay.
There was
So-
a sign there.
There was a sign there?
There was a sign?
Yes.
Great.
Good. There's several signs down there probably at the moment.
Super, wonderful. Anybody have any questions on this right now? Okay, so then we move forward to considering a resolution to adopt it, and we no longer have to wait 24 hours, which is a big deal. Then we have a public hearing to receive citizen input in the planned unit development referred to as Ivy Meadows, located off of Ivy Day Road in North Country Club Drive. Does anybody have any questions on this item? Ms. Hart, have we, is there any additional notice that has gone out to the folks that got the notice when it came before the planning board to let them know if they have anything that they want to state?
Yes, ma'am. The notices have been sent out to the same group, and also it's in the paper last week and again area.
Awesome, thank you. And I recall, and I have not, and there may be an email that I missed, and I apologize for that, but am I correct in thinking that there have been some changes that have been made since receiving commentary from the planning board?
In terms of buffering, yes.
Yeah.
And so we should be getting some additional information, and also I did receive a comment from someone in the Meadowbrook subdivision, so I will forward that to the clerk. She will include that in the package.
Great, and so then we'll,
If it will be helpful, I'll be more than happy to provide the minutes to the planning board when it is discussed, so you know how the discussion went.
right, that would be great, and I think you already sent those out before. I was just, so the buffering, will there be some clarification about, that'll come when our agenda packets come on Thursday? Great, thank you. Any other questions, anybody? Okay, so then we move forward to consider approving the PUD. And at this point, there's nothing in our placeholder for city business. And we move forward to the consent agenda, which is just to accept, approve minutes for May and accept the May finance report. So with that, Commissioner Gilreath, is there anything that you would like to add for consideration?
Do we get a chance to make a comment later?
Before we go all the way around, you
Yeah,
can,
because I'm not trying to add anything to the agenda.
but you can make a comment.
Okay. Attended Memorial Day services, and a lady came up to me and suggested that if activities are, some of the activities are going to be happening in downtown Oxford, she was just curious whether or not some of the vacant storefront windows could have pictures or something in their windows. And so I said I will share that, and she brought it to me, and I'm thinking, okay, I heard, and so I'm sharing. And this is for the 275th celebration for Granville County. So that was Miss Chelsea. She's from the library here. That was her recommendation and her comments to me during that celebration.
So she was wondering, like, if there could be posters or something informing the public about the 275th?
No, just pictures, old pictures, and just something to fill those vacant boards in our downtown area.
That sounds...
I mean, to dress up the windows is what she was alluding to. Mary, can you help me out?
Would it be safe to assume that that's the kind of question that should go to the 275th anniversary committee?
Well, I agree. I mean, but I was just curious if we had any representatives here that's already on the committee. And what were the plans for dressing up the downtown because of it? I don't know.
So Helen Amos is the city's representative to the 275th anniversary committee, and to my knowledge, there hasn't been any discussion. There's been a discussion. The celebration is going to be on July 24th out at the Gap, And I think there was a communication about that that went out to everybody. And the city is being asked to have some giveaways and prepare something that, you know, a table and have a display and so on.
So everything's gonna be out of the Garrett?
Right.
Okay.
But, you know, it's an interesting concept because there are certainly a number of historic photos that were done of different storefronts. I think a lot of them still keep it up. Mr. Burnett, do you all still have yours in your window?
No, ma'am. We had it there for a long time now.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, it's been 4
Tom,
years.
could you put yours back up, please, sir?
But I still have it. I can.
Thank you.
So, you know, Ms. Yunt, is there anything that you would like to throw into the conversation with respect to the downtown and the work that you do with the merchants and the DOEDC related to that?
I have had nobody inquire to me about supporting such of a project. If they've gone to the individual business owners, again, I'm not aware of that. I can certainly bring it up with design committee if pictures have been created from the past that would help celebrate that. But I don't think we would be opposed to that, just I've not been reached out to
Yeah,
in reference to that.
and that was just a casual conversation.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and I would, you know, I can certainly, Ms. Young, do you want me to reach out? Mark Pace called me this morning about the city of Oxford. Do you want me to reach out to him with this question with respect to putting it before them? Or,
I would think the library, the museum, I'm sure they have pictures. I don't know if the county has specific pictures that they would like to see used. So there's some pieces that we just need to
Right.
kind of bring together. I can certainly look into it. I have no opposition to that. I just, nobody's
right,
reached out,
it's, so, right, so this was just a casual conversation that she brought up
Yes.
with you.
No, she told me to follow up with it, and I'm doing so.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Tovey,
No, ma'am, not at this time.
okay. Commissioner Bridges,
Yeah, I did want to mention one thing. I'm not one to talk a whole lot about speeding on streets, but this time I was approached by a couple of sheriff's deputies who act as security at the courthouse, and I believe Judge Burnett talked about the speed of the cars right there in front of the theater and the courthouse. And of course, I think last week there was a car accident where a car rear-ended another car. It involved two cars, but the sheriff's deputies were saying that a lot of people coming to the courthouse to go to court really are in jeopardy at that spot right there where we've got the yellow sign there, and the deputy asked me if I would consider some kind of not necessarily a speed bump, but a hump. You know, something that, you know, people can't just speed over. He felt like that might slow down the traffic. So, and I promised him I would mention this at our meeting, because see, they're there all day, letting people into the court, and he says those cars fly up and down that area there, and somebody's gonna get killed. I mean, he looked me in the eye, and that's what he said to me. So I brought it up.
Are you talking about right across from the Orpheum?
Yeah.
The main.
Yeah, that
That
crosswalk.
mid-block crossing.
Yeah, he said they come through there at 55 miles an hour.
Has court opened back up yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, okay. That line used to be.
and of course, you know, we discussed this at an earlier time. That's why we got that little yellow
Yeah.
sign up here, because Judge Burnett had brought it up because, you know, when she was trying to come to court and come across the street, cars were just flying. And so I thought I'd mention it again.
We'll certainly have that conversation. It is a DOT maintained road, highway,
Mhm.
so it's essentially under their control. But we'll definitely have that conversation with the Department of Transportation about the concerns that we have specifically on court dates when traffic triples and doubles and quadruples in that area.
But speed is not just a court date. Williamsboro Street, the whole corridor.
Oh, yeah, well, if they put in a traffic control device there, and that's their choice, it will certainly be there on any other day as well as court dates, so.
Okay, excellent, thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kern.
Well, if you catch the speeders, maybe you can catch the one with the loud mufflers too.
Yeah, I hate those things. Yeah,
And
it
I brought
scared me
this
to
up one
death.
day. I was walking in front of Union Bank, and I could hear the guy when he went past the Masonic coming. I don't know why that's hard to regulate.
On a truck, was it a
Yeah,
truck?
with
But you-
trucks.
You
yeah.
trucks,
But mostly,
the jacked up
mostly out here on them
Tahoes,
jacked
I
up
mean,
trucks.
Mhm.
But
A lot
get
of
the
them are
mufflers
trucks.
and the speed.
Mm.
And the radio.
So,
And the bright
The
line.
radio's on.
could we, the issue of course is being right there when the person is going by. Is it possible, I mean, I've thought about taking a picture of the license plate and sending it and saying, you know, whatever they're guilty of. I mean, is there anything that we could do from a policy approach or an ordinance approach that is, of course, the truth of the matter is then you could have people doing all kinds of vendettas against somebody and there's no way of somebody in authority verifying it. So I just answered my own question.
That's good.
That's the trouble.
We'll leave the concept of citizens arrest with Andy Griffin.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, anything else?
I will have that conversation with the chief of police about the loud mufflers. I hear them too. I spend a lot of time walking around town or out here hitting golf balls. And if you want to hear loud trucks as they leave, the people practicing baseball when you came in, about 6, 7, 8 of them have those exhaust systems modified to make that sound. But yeah.
And school's closed now, but if you really want to hear 'em, go to where school get out.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Why, I don't know, but it's a thing.
It's a thing. See who's loudest.
And we do have an ordinance, don't we?
We do.
It's a thing.
We do. It's slightly subjective, but we'll take another look at that about its enforcement.
Okay, excellent.
That's good.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mayor Pro Tem.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Fields.
No, ma'am.
Commissioner Bullock.
Couple of things, please. First of all, would like to recognize Commissioner Gilreath and Commissioner Tovey and thank them for being present at the ceremony we had for Memorial Day on that. We did appreciate their attendance. And really like to thank Cindy and Troy for helping us get prepared for it, get the equipment. Troy was there, had it set up, and was willing to do whatever needed to do. As soon as we finished, he was taking care of it and getting it out of the way. So really appreciate that on them. Secondly, tonight, next Tuesday, whichever, but again, I'd like to ask for an update on the armory, where we stand with that. And next Tuesday night, we normally in the summer wear shirts.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Are we gonna do that?
That's up to you.
Danny generally call that, you know. Get the
Dan-
colors.
Danny's the dress authority.
Dress enforcement.
Next week, but I want to speak.
That's right.
Go to shirts.
Oh, but you-
Go to shirts. Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Me and John is They, you know, week ahead.
Send us all the meeting an email and let us know what color.
Oh, okay. And I don't, oh, let's look at our dates to remember. So we got quitting time again for, I think, 4 more, the next 4 Thursdays in June. This has been, from everybody that I've heard from, a great hit.
It's great.
Generated a lot of activity for all the restaurants that are participating. I've seen bump restaurants and the hub. So June 1st through the 30th, Love Local X's and O's game. Mary, do you want to, so the next one, and then we've got June 4 schools out and the cruise in. Do you want to just give a little update on each of those again for the benefit of everybody here, please?
So the Love Local campaign is a month-long campaign to support our local downtown businesses. You can get, it's basically a tic-tac-toe game of X's and O's. They do not have to be X's all in a row or O's all in a row. They just have to be one or the other in a row. And then you bring that to City Hall and you're put into a drawing for $300 in downtown dollars. The June 4th, Schools Out, Summer's On event will have classic cars and cars for the car enthusiasts. And we'll be playing the movie Grease. We'll have food trucks. It's all happening on Little John Street and behind in Little John parking lot. We've sent out notices to the businesses. I've talked to many of them personally. We'll be closing that back parking lot at 1 o'clock so that we can get all of the vehicles in. And we'll have next door radio on site doing music until the movie starts at around 8 or 8:15.
So even though we've got it listed separately, June, on our agenda, it says June 4 schools out, summer kickoff on Little John, and then 2 bullets down, we've got the cruise in to Oxford 5:30 to 8, and the movie Grease 8 to 9:30. In essence, that's all part of the same thing.
The cars, some of them will stay, some of them will leave. But the biggest thing is they wanted to come to Oxford because there was restaurants within a walkable distance.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you so much. And Tina, do you not have daddy-daughter dance as well?
We do June 4th.
So can you tell us about that?
Yes, from 6 to 8, so dads and their daughters can sign up and come out. The Food Line is one of our sponsors, and they're providing the snacks. It's heavy, basically heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's chicken nuggets and chicken fingers and a few other things. And we'll have a DJ at that and we'll have it decorated. It has been a very successful event for us, so we're glad to be able to start it back again this year. So we are still taking registrations this year. We did kind of back off a little bit. We didn't want to have too many kids there, so we have a few spots left, but we're looking forward to this fun event.
And is that going to be in the gym or at Public Works?
It's at Public Works. It's
Okay.
in the meeting room.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Thornton, anything to throw in?
A couple of things. Welcome back to City Hall. I guess number one. It's been a long, hard road since last March, but we're certainly glad to be here, and it's good to see everyone again. I've just about zoomed out. Telling you that for us old people doing those constant electronic meetings, just I'm glad I have Cindy and Alyssa to help me out with that. And let's see, for the public, I know they've been bombarded with the information about the roundabout project but it begins the 7th of this month, so that's a week basically from now that they'll get started on that project. Hopefully everybody understands the traffic, where it will flow and how it will flow with everything that we've tried to put out there and that the DOT has put out there. And last but not least, today is Cindy's 30th birthday.
How much money do I owe you?
Happy birthday.
Do you want to owe me
She's in
even
her
more?
20s.
Cindy has dinner planned with her family, so she'd like to get out of here as soon as possible.
Okay,
No, you really owe me.
good.
That's all I got.
All right, excellent. Well, we'll get you out of here in a second. Mr. Burnett, anything from you, sir?
No, ma'am, other than I agree with Commissioner Bridges and my wife about the speeding. And they need a hump on both sides of the crosswalk, not just one side, because they speed from both directions.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna throw my European suggestion thing out again, which is that you do something in the center that straddles the middle line, so that anybody who's driving on either side of the road, two of their wheels are gonna hit it, but it is smaller than the axle on our fire trucks and ambulances. So when they need to go, they are allowed to drive down the middle of the street and they straddle it, and that's my own, but personal
another way is
solution.
they raise the crosswalk, actually.
Right, and make it
Like a
called
very
a
wide speed bump. They
speed,
raise
it's
the
called a
crosswalk.
speed table.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's another European
Yeah.
idea.
That's,
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe DOT will be responsive. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I have been waiting 14 months to say, all in favor, signal so by saying aye. Aye. With your feet. We stand adjourned.
No more
Man,
roll
have I been
call, right?
tired of roll call.
what say you?
Oh, I hate that roll call.
I tell you.
They go bounce around, somebody pops off, and then everybody bounces around and screams.
She's gone. But no, I want to see Sharon about that.
Yeah, okay.
Question about her.